Today I have with me Raj, who's our Head of Community, Amy, who's our Football Development Officer, and Hannah, who's our Education Manager. Today we'd like to wrap up our Lincoln City Football Academy for Women launch with a few questions to the team. So first things up, that's Raj, and please could you tell everyone what exactly the Lincoln City Football Academy for Women is?
Yeah, thanks, Lizzie. So essentially it's a 2-year full-time scholarship for players who are demonstrating excellence, especially within grassroots levels or any football activity that they play outside of this level. In a sense, the course itself, it's a level 3 extended diploma, which is equivalent to 3 A levels, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to combine an environment similar to the male academy format, where young people who are aspiring to become footballers will get their education delivered by a qualified teaching team within this environment, within this football environment, but also they get access to at least 12 hours of football development per week. So then as an academy itself, we can work with these players on a weekly basis for the full academic year and try and develop them with the end goal potentially obviously becoming a professional football player within the female game. In terms of the playing side of it, the players will represent Lincoln City in national and regional competitions, and the biggest thing about that is that these young players that we do recruit, they'll be playing the game within their age group, and I feel like sometimes that this step is it's essentially missed sometimes, where players actively go from leaving at the age of 16 going straight into the adult game. So this kind of bridges that gap and gives that more opportunity to develop their potential and maximize their potential, especially in terms of that football element, but also the education element is important as well. And what we want to do is we want to develop, yes, a player, but also we want to develop the individual as well. And I think that's the most important thing, to make sure that we develop a well-rounded individual.
Fantastic answer, thank you very much. Amy, what do you think the Academy will mean for the girls of Lincolnshire?
So obviously Lincolnshire's got a record of producing international players. We've got players currently from our area playing in the Women's Super League, the Women's Championship, but up until recently they've had nowhere to go. So personally, being one of them girls from the area, I know when I was that age how important it would have been for me to have this option. So to be able to provide that to other girls, it does mean a lot. And it might not look like it's a big thing to boys because they've always had something similar in place. We've got it with the Boys Academy. There's a scholar system, like Raj said. But this is the first in the county that will provide girls locally that opportunity. So it's a massive thing, and it's a massive thing for any female player, really.
Absolutely. And this is a question that I guess we've been asked this week quite surprisingly. So it's, I guess, something that's really quite important to cover. What would you say to the people out there that say that women can't play football and there's no future in women's football?
I know, it's nice to hear. Yeah, no, so for me, we just want an equal opportunity. There's not any female player that goes out there and wants anything more than what the boys get. We just want the same opportunities that the boys do get. And I think it's getting more common now. So we have our development centres on a Wednesday night, and the boys come over and play and they don't see it as any different. And that's because they're used to it. And I feel like as we go and as we progress, it will be the norm. There won't be this idea that it isn't, women can play sport. It's going to just be a normal thing. Girls play, boys play. At the end of the day, they just want to play football. They're a footballer. It doesn't matter what gender they are. So that's how I can answer that one.
Great answer.
Thank
Hannah, there might be some parents that are listening whose kids might be interested in doing this, but they might be a little bit worried about maybe their kids putting all their eggs in one basket, or just worried about them potentially following this as a career option. What would you say to them?
So I think Raj has touched on it a little bit, that obviously we offer the BTEC Level 3 Extended Diploma in Sport as the educational option. In terms of that, we've had students who've done our community-based programme with us for the last 3 years, and they've gone off. We've got some students who are studying to be mental health nurses. We've got students who have gone off into sports analysis and are doing match analysis and things like that. They've gone off to a wide range of universities. So it's not necessarily putting all their eggs in one basket. Obviously, they're deciding that they do want to be in the sports industry somewhere, and hopefully they are going to make it in terms of being a footballer, but they've got that backup option of being either in the health industry, the sports industry, becoming a personal trainer. You know, there's lots of different avenues that they could go down, and hopefully the modules in our course will allow them to experience all these different options that could potentially be a backup option if something happens in terms of their footballing career.
Excellent. And you've had a lot of success already on that community programme, haven't you, in terms of children actually progressing over to play in America? We
have, yeah. We had a student last year. She was offered a scholarship in America, hopefully going to fly out, obviously, because of COVID. There's been few issues with transport and things like that. But yeah, she's going to go out. She's going to be at Allen College over in Kansas. She is doing more of the health side of things, but still following that passion and that dream of playing football out there.
What an amazing opportunity. Amy, back to you. On this programme, how would you say that will offer the students to actually develop as a footballer?
So the idea when we had the discussions before is that we want to really follow the way that the boys' academy system does it. So it's not just you go to college and I know similar to what they do now where they play on a Wednesday, they have an odd session. This is a fully run programme. They're going to be training as much as the boys' scholars do, which in terms of development, that's times in their training sessions by up to 10 times. So the development from going from grassroots or RTC level into this programme to then be training that amount of time a week, their development will come on so much. And I think with the coaches we're going to have in doing the sessions, they will progress. So
fantastic. Raj, so obviously this programme has a split between football and academia. What could you say that the students will expect when studying with us?
So what they would expect a high quality education provision, but also a high quality football development curriculum as well, and both will go hand in hand. So we expect students to be with us for about 24 hours per week, and that's including obviously the training times, studying times, and the playing time as well. So it again, like Amy was saying, is it gives that opportunity to spend a full-time kind of hours in terms of the allocation of develop them for their education side of things, but also obviously for the football development side of things as well. So you know, it's an environment that they'll have obviously classroom based in terms of the education side of things, and also that it does involve some practical aspects as well. And it's the same with the football curriculum as well. All the learning can be done on the pitch as well, and we will be incorporating some gym sessions in there, and also some classroom based lessons as well to look at specifically around kind of the analysis, maybe based on the previous game or upcoming games, or even watching some of the kind of the professional females games and actually analysing specific positions that the players will be expected to play, kind of revisiting our playing philosophy as well, and how we want to operate in terms of that team environment and that we're going to come into in terms of the competition base. But it's going to be a very, very holistic curriculum that's going to support both the education side of things and the kind of the football development side of things as well.
Fantastic. Amy, would you say that there is a demand for this in Lincolnshire?
Yeah, so we had the discussion earlier about, obviously we used to have centres, we used to have things, but for the past few years there's not been a lot of female provision in terms of that pathway and how we can make that an elite standard. We have teams locally and they provide girls with places to go, but this is to bridge that gap. This is so that we can provide a way of given opportunities to play at that elite level without having to travel like most of them have been doing. So there is a massive demand for it. I think the area has, further its population, one of the highest levels of female footballers in the country. So there's a market there for it, and we're hoping that obviously with the trials and stuff and the other taster stuff we get a lot of interest and the players get to see what we are about.
Fantastic. Hannah, we've heard quite a lot about what they will learn on the football side. BTEC Sport, obviously, that's, that could be anything. So is there anything sort of more specific that that they will actually be learning on that course?
Yeah, so we've tailored this course so that it sort of fits the needs and hopefully the interests of the girls that are going to come onto it. So like I said, it's the level 3 extended diploma. It's equivalent to 3 A levels. It's accepted at all major universities. And I've obviously discussed the progression options that we've had in the past. So based on this programme that we've put together for the girls, they're going to be studying modules such as sports analysis, fitness training and programming, and then other modules that they have to do, such as the anatomy and physiology, understanding how the body works, and things like that. So there's a lot of applicable modules there. There's going to be some performance coaching modules. I think Raj sort of mentioned that that'll tie in lovely with the football development side of things, as well as the match analysis. So the education side of things is going to work hand in hand with the stuff that they're doing practically. So hopefully that'll give them an insight into why they're playing, how they're playing, or why someone's learning in a certain way and things like that, that they can then put into their practice. So it's a very applicable course, and hopefully quite an exciting course. I'm excited, especially sort of to be leading on this and seeing where it goes, and watching the girls that enjoy it. We've got some girls on the current BTEC program who hopefully are going to be transferring across, Amy, fingers crossed, who are really interested in this, and I can't praise their performance ability enough. So this has just come at a fantastic time that they're already enjoying the fruits of the BTEC course, and now they're going to get this opportunity to develop as players as well. So yeah, I think it's a brilliant split between the education and the football development.
This might be a good time as well, actually, to talk a bit more about progression, because I know you touched about different careers and stuff they can go into, but obviously there is a progression element they can still do with us as well with the degree.
Yeah, we do. We have a community football coaching and development degree. It's a bit of a mouthful, so we just call it our football coaching degree that we do in partnership with the University of South Wales. So we have quite a few students sort of on a yearly basis that do our BTEC level 3, and then the natural progression is to do the foundation degree afterwards and then top up with a 3rd year of the degree with us as well. So they could potentially be with us for a whole 5 years, learning how to be a coach, and how to set up events and things like that, because there is the event management module in the degree. There's also PE and school sport in the degree as well, so they can go into schools, they can go into a teaching avenue as well if they wanted to after they've been with us for the 5 years. Obviously the academy program is 2 years, but if they did want to stay with us, there is that degree option, and we've had quite a lot of success of students going on and essentially having apprenticeships with us and hopefully jobs.
And Raj, progression, sticking with the theme of progression a little bit, what about progressing further into women's football?
Yes, and I think that's the biggest aim for this academy. We want to set up players, and give them the opportunity to develop, hopefully in order to reach that professional game. Obviously, we've got the establishment of the Lincoln City Women's First Team. And we have a pathway to that first team as well. But like I said, we want to be there for every single player, give them that opportunity to showcase what they can do on a weekly basis, and that's in training, but also obviously in the games environment setting as well. And then you never know that obviously the opportunity may arise to progress into obviously the Lincoln City Women's First Team, and it's quite exciting really for a player to see that as a potential pathway for them to as a kind of exit route from the academy as well. So yeah, no, that's what our aim is to do really.
Yeah, so obviously with the pathway, with the family, we've got the Lincoln City women's team, but our aim is to allow players from anywhere to be able to play and to go to the highest ability they can. So obviously the dream for us would be to be able to create international players. I think that has to be the goal. We're ambitious. We want to create the players and give any player at elite standard that opportunity to go as far as they can, and that is the top of the pile. So we're talking local, but then at the same time, we are saying we want to give any player, if you've got dreams to go that high, we want to help you fulfill them dreams.
That's excellent. You were obviously really fundamental in setting up our Girls Development Centre this year, which was a big jump for us. How will this new academy link in with our Girls Development Centre?
Yeah, so we're gradually getting a pathway in where we're going to have girls from the age of 3 all the way up now till 18. And then we've got then the pathway into adult football. Raj mentioned it a bit earlier that we saw there was a gap in the market from development grassroots centres into adult football, where at 16 to be thrown into adult football is tough. So this provides that pathway, but then also with the development centres, we've got that option of having a player potentially. I know Hannah was saying about the 5 years in education, we could have a player from the age of 3 to 20. So it's a massive pathway, and for us to be able to offer that as an option to players is huge.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, we've got some questions from further afield. We did put that question out there today, like on social media for any people that have any questions, and we did have a few, so we do want to cover a few of them before we just jump into the final few questions. So, Raj, this one's for you. What made us go for the age bracket? So obviously the academy is for 16 to 18-year-olds. Why have we decided to do that?
I think first of all, there's definitely, I would say, a gap for this and a need for this, and I think that's probably the most important thing, really. That like what me and Amy's just mentioned is that for a 16-year-old to enter into adult football, who like for an individual who wants to pursue a career within this game, could seriously knock their confidence. For example, if one weekend and one game didn't go the way that they wanted it to go, and they're playing against more experienced and stronger players, it's gonna kill their confidence. So we felt that there was a need and a priority to bridge that gap as a priority, and also obviously we've got our development centre, which is growing every week on a Wednesday in terms of the amount of players that are registering, and that is our kind of next step, I would say, and to kind of look at that and see what we can do to kind of make that into or in some sort of a definitely like an academy setup. But at the moment, we felt that the priority was this post 16 academy, and I would say in terms of that Wednesday development centre, just watch the space, really.
Fantastic. I guess this next one's probably for you, Amy, as both a member of the Lincoln City Foundation team and a Lincoln City women player. What involvement will Lincoln City women have in our academy?
Yeah, so it's similar to when we said about the pathway. Obviously, we're a Lincoln family, so the women's team is part of that family. The players obviously are keen, and most of them coach themselves as well. So there is going to be involvement from the women's team, but it's quite. We need to make clear that it's not just our players that we are trying to benefit. We're trying to benefit the area as a whole to progress women's football. So that is grassroots teams, that is any team locally. Players can come and play for our course, and wherever they end up, there's places for everyone.
Fantastic. Raj, this one's for you. I think obviously must have come from one of his biggest fans. Will Man Raj be involved in the Lincoln City Football Academy?
I reckon Manny sent this in himself.
I think he sent it himself, yeah.
He might have done, to be fair, because I think he's excited about it. To be fair, Manny works across quite a lot of departments at the foundation, and he's a very knowledgeable coach. In terms of that staffing team and the structure, specifically looking at the education side of things and also the coaching side of things, that is obviously still yet to be confirmed. But yes, I'm sure money will be involved in some way, if not obviously directly, but indirectly.
I'm sure his fans will be thrilled to hear that.
Yeah.
So just to wrap up a little bit then, this one's for every single one of you. We'll start with Amy. What would you say to any young female who might be watching this dreaming of a career in football?
To take the opportunities that not all of us have had. So we're getting to a point now where you're going to have the opportunities that girls before you wish they had, and don't miss them. If you are dreaming about becoming a footballer, you're dreaming about going into sport, even if it is you're not going to be a player, you're going to be some part in football. It's an open sport now. It's both genders. Whatever you want to do, take them opportunities and just go for it, really.
Hannah?
Well, I'm going to go with my own life motto, which is failure is not an option. And that's not to say that mistakes don't happen, because mistakes do happen and we learn from our mistakes. So just make sure that this is not a mistake that you look back on in the future and think, I wish I'd have applied for that, because, you know, we won't let you fail. As the Lincoln City family, we will have something for you. And if it's not the academy, it's something else. We are here for everyone, you know. So yeah, failure is not an option. Don't make the mistake that some of us have made.
Raj?
It's quite hard to follow from that, really, because they're quite inspiring, to be fair. But I would say if this is your dream and this is what you want to achieve, then this is the right step for you. This is a right platform for you to develop as a player, but then also develop as an individual as well. You've got a great opportunity to develop your kind of academic skills, develop your kind of industry knowledge within the sport and football environment through the education side of things. But also you've got that regular opportunity on a weekly basis with a large amount of time for that football development curriculum to develop your skills, to develop your abilities, to become better as a player. So I think for me, it's just, if you are, interested and want to pursue a career in the game, then definitely go for it. And like I said, we have a great staffing team. We're a very supportive organisation, and we're really excited about this, and we want to make sure that we're there for every single player.
Great answer. We can't leave without this one final bit of information. Raj, how do they apply?
Okay, so how do they apply? So on our website, there is an expression of interest form. So if you can visit the Lincoln City Foundation website, click on the Lincoln City Football Academy for Women link on there, then there's an expression of interest form that you can fill in. The process will be as well that we'll be collating that information, and we'll be providing updates for future trial days. And that's where we'll look to assess players and also kind of monitor players in terms of the selection of the academy. So I'm assuming, Lizzie, you'll be putting this link, or are you putting the link on anyway on the
I absolutely will be putting the link on.
Yeah,
Raj.
so
you can click in the comments.
So
Get that
definitely
cheat
click
in.
on the comments to express your interest and start your journey with us now, I guess, through that.
Perfect. Thank you so much, guys. It's been great. Thank you. Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.